Living in Northern Virginia is expensive. We all know that. But what catches people off guard are the details. Housing costs can vary by $200,000 between counties, commute times that can destroy your quality of life, and surprise tax bills that'll make you question everything. The 10 things I'm going to cover next will make sure you know exactly what you're getting into before you decide to move to the Northern Virginia area. Hey friends, it's Maggie Hatfield here, your Northern Virginia real estate broker, neighbor, and local knowledge broker. I've helped hundreds of families make smart, seamless moves to this beautiful, complicated, and yes, expensive corner of the world. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on what living in Northern Virginia is really like, the good, the challenging, and everything in between. Whether you're relocating for a government job, a tech position, or just a lifestyle shift, these insights will help you avoid the most common and costly mistakes I see people make. Stick with me till the end because I'm going to share with you my number one tip that could save you thousands and a lot of stress, plus a free relocation resource guide that can make your move a breeze. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And if you're thinking about buying, selling, or relocating, I help people just like you every week. My contact information is below in the video description. I'd love to chat. Item number one is Virginia is not just one place. Let me start with one of the biggest misconceptions that I hear. We're moving to Northern Virginia. Okay, but where in Northern Virginia? Because that's like you're saying you're moving to Texas. It tells me nothing about your actual life. Northern Virginia is made up of counties like Loudoun, Fairfax, Arlington, and Prince William, plus independent cities like Alexandria and Falls Church. Each has its own personality, pricing, school systems, and commute realities. If you're deciding whether to live in a city like Ashburn versus a city like Arlington is like choosing between suburbia and city life. You're in the same regional area, but the vibes are completely different. Same with home prices. The closer you get to DC, the more money you're going to be spending on a home. Add insult to injury, and you will likely be getting an older, smaller home as well. I once had a client who thought they could hop between Ashburn and Arlington within 20 minutes based on the map and how close they looked. The reality, it's more like a 90-minute drive with traffic. Let's talk about the cost of living next. Yes, the sticker shock is real. Median home prices hit the high 600,000s in 2024, with Arlington and McLean regularly pushing past the $1 million mark. But here's what the doom and gloom articles don't tell you. The salaries here are a lot higher as well. Northern Virginia's median household income is about $142,000. That's more than 50% higher than the national average. For folks moving here, especially in tech, consulting, or federal contracting, salaries often jump 25 to 40%. So yes, homes cost more here, but the paycheck usually grows too. Imagine moving from Charlotte, making about $72,000, and landing a new role here at about $115,000. Suddenly, that $450,000 townhouse in Woodbridge doesn't feel so overwhelming. In fact, your housing costs as a share of income could actually drop. So next, let's address the elephant in the room, and that is the traffic. And yes, the traffic in Northern Virginia stinks. And I think we are like the number one area for the worst traffic in the United States recently. I think that we were named that, which isn't really not a good thing to be named. But I think we're even worse than LA now. So yes, traffic here is not fun. On average, commuters in the area lose about 85 hours a year in delays. That's nearly 2 work weeks of your life gone. Since COVID, though, the rhythm has shifted. Mondays and Fridays tend to be lighter traffic-wise, but Tuesday through Thursday can still feel like a parking lot. If you've got a hybrid or flexible schedule, you are way ahead of the game. Here's the insider tip. Proximity to a metro matters. Not always because it's faster, but because it's less stressful. The Silver Line Metro from Ashburn to DC takes you longer driving, but for many people, the trade-off is worth it. You can read, work, or just zone out instead of having road rage. In closer areas like Fairfax, Arlington, and Alexandria, being near a metro often means shorter trips and fewer headaches. One of the biggest reasons people move here are the schools. Fairfax has 15 schools in the national top 100. Loudoun has 12. And Arlington has 8. That's off the charts compared to most of the country. But here's the truth. Not every school in these counties is created equal. Langley High, for example, has a 98% college acceptance rate, and homes nearby come with a 25% price premium. On the other hand, schools like Oakton or Briar Woods offer excellent academics without the ramen for dinner mortgage. And here's the kicker: boundaries change. Entire neighborhoods have been redistricted out of their dream school. So don't buy for just one pyramid. Buy for the strength of the overall system. And remember, the best school on paper may not always be the best school for your child. Some thrive in AP programs. Others do better in international baccalaureate programs or IB programs, which is easier to say, by the way. These programs focus on global learning and critical thinking. What you're really buying in Northern Virginia is choice. I've helped many families who've seen this play out in real life, where they're looking at schools based on what they're hearing from others or maybe what they see on paper, where at the end of the day, they end up moving somewhere else because it was a better fit for their kid. So definitely pay attention to what you think your child needs and what kind of environment they're looking for, and then build your criteria around those needs. One of the other things that people, I think they talk about it, but it's crazier than you think it would be, and that's the weather here. Sometimes you can have all 4 seasons just in one week. One day it could be sunny and 70 degrees, and the next you're literally out shoveling snow. The extremes here are what matters. This past summer, the heat index here was 105 to 110 degrees, basically like walking into an oven. Winters can dump 20 inches of snow and shut down schools and government workers for days, even weeks. And heavy storms, they can turn parts of Alexandria and Old Town into rivers. That's why your home has to be ready. Reliable air conditioning and heating systems, good drainage, and a sump pump in the basement if you have one. And don't skip the flood maps. Knowing whether a property sits in a flood-prone area can save you tens of thousands later. Skip those details and you could be looking at a flooded basement or an $8,000 HVAC bill in the first year. Northern Virginia weather doesn't mess around. But here's the upside. Spring and fall are hands down amazing. Cherry blossoms, crisp hikes, farmers markets, and fall festivals everywhere. Fall is my absolute favorite season here. Community vibes are everything. And here's what Zillow can't tell you. Every neighborhood has its own personality. And if you don't match it or you don't want it, you're gonna be miserable, no matter how pretty the house is. Clarendon, that's for young professionals who want a nightlife at their doorstep and don't flinch at $3,000 a month for a 1-bedroom property. Great Falls, that's for acreage, privacy, and the kind of wealth where nobody asks you what you do for work. Brambleton, suburban family paradise. Pools, playgrounds, and an HOA that will fine you if your front door is the wrong shade of beige. The mistake I see a lot is that people shop for the house and not the lifestyle. You can love the kitchen, but if you're a social butterfly stuck in a cul-de-sac with no neighbors around, you're going to hate it. Bottom line is, the right lifestyle oftentimes matters more than the square footage. Less house in the right place often beats more house in the wrong place. Next, let's talk Amazon HQ2 and where it's driving the market in 2025. As of this spring and early summer, median home values across Northern Virginia were trending up, with a high of 4% year-over-year growth in May before cooling off slightly to $770,000 in June. Arlington County is really feeling that HQ2 spillover, with home values at $800,000. That's an 11.5% jump year-over-year. In Alexandria City, including Old Town, prices are still strong there as well. Old Town alone has houses averaging 1.2 million, which is up 3.1% year-over-year. But here's the thing. Even as prices level off in some areas, neighborhoods near HQ2 and in the spillover zones, like Pentagon City or Del Rey, continue to outperform regional averages. That's where demand remains strong and where you can still get in on the wave, not just ride it. So here's the updated takeaway. Northern Virginia is stabilizing, but the HQ2 zone and its spillover market are still commanding premium growth. The real question is, are you getting on board or are you going to wish that you had? The next thing we're talking about is transportation, and Metro is the obvious choice, but let's talk about some other options that can either save your sanity or ruin it. The Silver Line Metro extension to Ashburn, Virginia, total game changer for Loudoun County. You can now connect straight to DC, but here's the part nobody mentions about the Metro: parking. Vienna has nearly 6,000 spaces for parking, but they fill up quickly. East Falls Church, with only about 400 spots. If you're not there before 8 a.m., good luck finding one. Now let's talk about VRE, or the Virginia Railway Express. If you're coming from Fredericksburg or Manassas, it's a secret weapon. Comfortable seats, Wi-Fi, and a chance to actually get work done instead of gripping the wheel on I-95 traffic. Here's the biggest mistake I see buyers make. They fall in love with the house without ever testing the commute. That 45 minutes on Google Maps at 10 a.m., try 90 minutes of gridlock during rush hour. Smart buyers always test the drive or the train ride before making an offer. Bottom line here is, in Northern Virginia, your commute isn't about just getting to work, it's about protecting your quality of life. Next up are some hidden costs that you don't necessarily come across when you're looking to move to the area, so we're going to talk about those next. First up is the car tax. Yep, Virginia taxes your cars as well as your personal property twice a year. That $40,000 SUV, you're looking at roughly $1,200 annually. And I've seen people nearly choke when they see that first bill show up. Next is HOA fees, which can vary widely across the region. And I don't mean $50 a month for lawn care. Some communities charge $800 to $1,000 a month for pools, fitness centers, and landscaping. That's basically another mortgage payment for neighborhood perks. Then there are property taxes. The good news is Virginia runs about 0.8% compared to Maryland at 1.1% and DC at 0.85%. The catch? If you're in a premium community with steep HOA fees, your affordability math can get ugly real fast. The bottom line is, when you're calculating what you can afford, don't just stop at the mortgage. Car taxes, HOA fees, and property taxes all hit your monthly budget, and ignoring them can make you have regrets in the long run. Item number 10 is the culture and outdoor lifestyle, because with all the other things considered, this is definitely one that makes it worthwhile living here. After all this reality checking, let me tell you why I've stayed here 27 plus years and why my clients, even the ones who complain about traffic, end up loving this place. The diversity is incredible. Within 30 minutes of my house, I can get to the Appalachian Trail, kayak on the Potomac River, eat at a very high-end restaurant, take in the mountain views at a beautiful winery, walk historic battlefields, and so much more. Sometimes I even take it for granted. The outdoor life here is unmatched. 45 miles of Washington and Old Dominion bike trail takes you from Percival to Shirlington and Arlington. Shenandoah National Park is about 75 minutes away for weekend hiking. Great Falls Park is about 30 minutes away. And don't get me started on Virginia wine country. There are about 20 wineries within a 30-minute drive from my home in Leesburg. And then there's the intellectual energy. This is a place where your Uber driver may have a PhD and your neighbor could be running foreign policy for the State Department. The conversations at kids' soccer games are unlike anywhere else. I chose to live in Loudoun County 27 years ago as a young professional and mom, and it's grown with me through every life stage. Single and dating? Check. Young family with school needs? Check. Empty nester wanting culture and convenience? Double check. Not many places can adapt to your life story, but Northern Virginia can. So we've covered the 10 things you absolutely must know before moving to the Northern Virginia area in 2025. From hidden taxes to traffic hacks to which neighborhoods actually match your lifestyle. I hope you're walking away feeling better informed and empowered. And I promised you that number one insider tip: the best time to buy in Northern Virginia is between Thanksgiving and mid-January. Competition drops by around 30% and sellers are more motivated. It's how clients get great deals while others are distracted by the holidays. If this video helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel and share it with a friend who might find this useful as well. Drop your questions in the comments. I answer every single one. And don't forget to grab your free relocation guide, linked in the video description below. I can't wait to welcome you to Northern Virginia.